Hi yogis, my name is Amber. Thank you for joining me for our beginner's slow flow practice today. I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to my humble abode. So if you are wanting to use some props today, grab a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, then maybe a thicker book or two would work nicely. And it's just a kind of, it helps us if we need a little extra stability in our balance in some shapes. Right now I'm sitting on my second block, which I really enjoy because it kind of tilts my pelvis forward just a little bit, gives me a little bit more elongation through my spine. I can relax my shoulders, and it relaxes my knees down. It takes my knees below my hips. Now, if you find that you're sitting in crisscross position, Sukhasana or easy pose, and your knees are up here, believe me, you're not alone. We've all been there. Take a block or a book or even your blankets and just give your knees some padding. And what that is going to do is it's going to let your legs relax. And you're not going to be holding any tension up here in the hips. And it's going to feel a lot more comfortable as we sit for a few moments. And you absolutely do not have to cross your legs if it doesn't feel comfortable. Please remember that as we practice together, that if anything does not feel good, there's a difference between pain and just a little bit of feeling uncomfortable. Uncomfortable can be good. It means that you're moving into positions that maybe your body hasn't been in a long time. You're stretching muscles and activating muscles that haven't been activated in a long time. And every now and again, you're like, holy cow, okay. So if that happens, kind of breathe into it and see if it lets go. And if it doesn't, and if it really feels super uncomfortable to you, then by all means, please back out of the shape. I don't want to ask you to do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing, and you have that permission. So just listen to your body as we move through our practice today. So as you find your comfortable seat, lengthen up through the spine. And when we do that, we're not lifting up through the chest. We're not lifting the rib cage. And we also call that flaring the rib cage. But we're holding it steady. And I like to look at it as kind of a lampshade, like your rib cage is a lampshade. And if you lift it up, you're going to be shining your light out. And we don't want that. We want it, like in Dirty Dancing, we want our little bubble to be around us. This is our space. So your light is shining down right around you. Relaxing the shoulders. You can take a couple of deep breaths if you want to kind of get yourself settled in. If you're feeling fidgety, let the movement happen and just kind of let yourself settle down into a comfortable position. And then if it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes. And if for some reason closing your eyes makes your mind race or it doesn't feel comfortable, then please just take your gaze to the floor. And then you can kind of close the eyes enough that the eyelids or the eyelashes kind of come together a little bit, and whatever's around you turns into more like shadows instead of shapes. So you can kind of make your own little bubble here. And then for a moment, just notice what is happening in the body. Notice if you feel any tension in certain spots. If you're not used to sitting with a straight spine, you might feel the back muscles are starting to activate. And you might be tempted to kind of relax down through the spine and round through the back, but don't do it. Maybe take a gentle twist from side to side just to kind of activate those muscles a little bit more, loosen them up, and just keep your breath soft and even, letting your nervous system know and understand that everything is okay, you're not in any danger, and that you are just doing your best to relax. And sometimes that's hard for some people. So just do your best. And just relax down as best as you can with the breath. Relaxing through the expression on the face. So you're letting that space between the eyes soften. You let the space around the eyes soften. The cheeks and the mouth. So letting the lips relax and perhaps parting the teeth and just letting the tongue relax back. Maybe taking a swallow first. And then notice if you have any tension in the neck, and for a few moments, if you'd like, you can drop one ear to a shoulder, move from side to side. Maybe an up and down movement would feel good, with nose pointed towards the ceiling, and then let the chin drop to the chest. And just give yourself a few moments to explore. Notice what parts are tense and what parts feel really good when you stretch them out. Remember, no judgment, even if you've had that crick in the neck for a week. This is a great time to say, hey, you know what, crick in the neck? I witness you, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. You can relax now. Enjoy another breath or two, and then when you're ready, come on back up. Find that integrity in the spine again. Bring the head above the heart. And then check into the shoulders. And just make sure that we're not feeling any tension in those spaces. And then let the arms relax down heavy. And if you haven't already, turn your palms up today, if you don't mind. We're going to practice a gentle breathing exercise here in just a few moments. So letting the arms rest heavily on your exhales. And then finding a softness as you inhale and exhale through the chest and the belly. And then move down into the legs, especially through the knees. Notice if you're holding any tension. And do what you need to do to release that. Again, maybe just witnessing the tension will help, or maybe you have to shift, and that's okay. And then checking in on the ankles and the feet and the toes. And then giving yourself full permission to relax and tune in for the next hour. Keeping the eyes closed if that feels comfortable to you. So we'll begin a short breathing exercise, and I'll just explain it first. So if you will find the point at the base of the thumb, on the outside of the thumb. So if you can't quite figure that out, it's right like where the wrist bone might be. And so we'll inhale to the tip of the thumb. So you're going to imagine tracing alongside the outside of the thumb to the tip. And then as you exhale, you're going to trace alongside the other side of the thumb until you reach the point between the thumb and the pointer finger. And so on and so forth. So please, and you can do this on one hand or both, come to that space on the outside of the thumb, right where the wrist bone is, and see if you can pinpoint a sensation there. And then when you're ready, take an inhale and draw that imaginary line to the tip of the thumb. And then we'll exhale down the other side to that space between the pointer finger and the thumb. And then we'll inhale up the pointer finger to the tip and exhale down the side to the space between the middle finger and the pointer finger. Inhaling up to the middle finger, up to the tip. Exhaling down. Inhale to the top of the ring finger. Exhale down the other side. Inhale to the tip of the pinky. Exhale down. Let's go the other way. Inhale to the tip of the pinky. Exhale down. Inhale, top of the ring finger. Exhale down. Inhale, top of the middle finger. Exhale down. Inhale, top of the pointer finger. Exhale down. Inhale to the tip of the thumb. And exhale down. And then bring your attention to the center of the palm. And notice if you can feel a sensation there. Bring all of your concentration to the center of the palm. And just find your breath soft and slow. And while you hang out here for just a couple of breaths, I would like to read a passage to you from one of my favorite books. I use it very often, Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. And I loved today's message, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, just an excerpt out of it. But it's titled, Trust Each Step. Sometimes when we pray for miracles, we're really praying for shortcuts. The simple act of acceptance, of returning to each step of our path, can often bring us the miracle that we need. Then we see the truth. The real miracle is one always available to each of us. It's the miracle of acceptance. We can go where we want to go, one step at a time. Stay present for each step of your journey and trust each stage. Many things are possible for you if you accept that the fastest way is always one step at a time. Please bring the palms of the hands together, resting in Anjali Mudra. And I would like to invite you to set an intention for today's class. If you'd like, make sure it's kind and nurturing as always, and if it's something that is pertaining to your class today, just make it simple. Don't make it a lofty goal. Or maybe you'd like to dedicate your class today as well. That's always something very beautiful to do. And especially in our time right now with COVID-19, I know there are a lot of folks out there that need a little extra love and support. And then after you set your intention, let's draw the palms together, or well, they are together, but in a little up and down motion here, building a little bit of friction. And you can imagine that you're setting a little fire underneath your intention if you'd like. Kind of stirring up our energy. Feeling the palms get warm. A few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, pause and pull the hands about 1/4 of an inch away from each other and just take a moment and really notice this energy field that you have drawn from yourself. You can kind of circle the palms a little bit and feel it shift. And then when you're ready, you're going to take the hands and clasp the fingers together behind the neck and let the thumbs come down and kind of rest, pointing down at your shoulders. We want to find this nice little cradle in the back of the head. So we're just going to let our head rest back. Elbows might fall back a little bit, and we're going to lift a little bit through the front of the body. Connect to your core. And just breathe. And the gaze can come up to the ceiling. You can close your eyes if you'd like. You can sneak in a little massage with those thumbs. Not a bad idea. Take one more breath here. Big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly let your chin come to your chest. You can relax the elbows, but let the hands rest. And just find this deeper stretch through the upper back. Hold here for one more breath. And then on your next inhale, gently roll yourself up, open the elbows, come back to that resting position where your head feels this loving support behind it. Engaging through the belly and letting that tailbone relax down. We don't want to find this crazy C shape in the back. And then on your next exhale, let's roll down, softening the arms. And remember, we're not pulling anything down, just simply the weight of the hands on the back of the neck should be plenty. And then when you're ready, big inhale. Last time, we're going to open the elbows up, relax the head back, engage the belly, soften that tailbone, and lifting through the front of the body, just a little. And then last time, on an exhale, bring the hands forward. And just undo the clasp and slowly let the arms relax down to the floor. And then I'm going to ask that you shift into your tabletop position. So we're going to have our hands underneath our wrists, or obviously, our wrists underneath our shoulders. And we've got our knees underneath our hips. This is a great time to pad the knees and pad the wrists as well. You take your blanket and pad, you can let your wrists hang out on top of the blanket, fingertips to the floor, knees to the floor, tops of the feet to the floor. Find length from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and we're not dropping through the shoulders, but we're strong and steady. Let's find a few cat-cows here. Big breath in, and as we do so, belly drops, hips rise, and your gaze comes up. We find our cow. Exhaling, we find our cat, pulling the belly to the spine, relaxing the tailbone, rolling it down, and then relaxing the head and pressing up through the palms. So we send this energy through the arms into the shoulders. And then inhale, belly down, find your cow. Exhale, find your cat. Inhale to cow. And exhale, last time, find your cat. And then we're going to inhale into a neutral spine, and we are going to find a little bit of movement here into child's pose, which is always welcome. So we're going to take an inhale and find a baby cow. So just a little bit of belly movement towards the floor, and the gaze is going to come maybe to the top of your mat. And then as you exhale, you're going to rotate the tailbone down, and your elbows are going to come down to the floor, and your forehead will reach the ground. And then when you inhale, pulling from the palms, drawing yourself up. And then exhale, chin to chest, tailbone tucked, forehead moves towards the floor, elbows touch the mat. Inhale, draw yourself up. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but it is really storming outside. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, draw it back up. Exhale, bring it down. And this time we're going to stay in our child's pose. So relax the arms out. Draw the forehead down to the floor. And you're going to find your breath in the back of the rib cage. And as you inhale, you should feel your shoulder blades kind of move out to the outer parts of the arms. And just find a couple of deep breaths here. Keeping the breath slow and steady and full. Take one more deep breath here. And then on your next inhale, you're going to walk your hands over to the right. And you're just going to find this nice stretch through the left side of the body. And you're going to anchor that left hip down just a little. And then from here, we're going to take our left hand and we're going to scoot it underneath our right for this little X. Keep the right hand reaching out, and you're going to kind of relax onto the shoulder into thread the needle. If you'd like with the right arm, you can swing it back and rest it on your low back. If you find that your head feels like it's floating, then rest it on top of a block or a blanket. Whoa! Crazy thunderstorm outside. Go ahead and relax the right arm if you have it behind your back. And you're going to bring the palm near your nose and draw yourself gently up. And go ahead and come back into your child's pose. And you're going to take a full inhale and exhale here. And then as you inhale, you're going to move to your left. And then this time, we're going to keep that right hip kind of anchored down towards the floor. So keeping that left hand stretched out, let's bring that right arm underneath the left and find or thread the needle. Again, you can rest the left arm at your low back if that feels good to you, or you can just let it stay outstretched. One more breath here. If your hand is behind your back, slowly reach it forward, bringing the palm by your nose and draw yourself up. And this time, go ahead and come back into your tabletop position. So we're going to move into a spinal balance. So, first thing we're going to do is reach our right foot back, and we're going to bring it directly behind our hip, and we're going to make sure that the hip isn't lifted or stacked, but the hips are directly across from one another. And one way to tell is make sure that your toes are pointed towards the floor. We're going to anchor down through that right hand and reach forward with the left hand. Now keep in mind, if this does not feel good, if you don't feel steady or stable, do either the hand or the foot. Totally acceptable. Engaging through the belly and really lengthening from the fingertips all the way to the heels. You're going to take a big deep breath in, and as you exhale, elbow's going to draw into center, and the knee's going to come into center as well. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, bring it in, elbow and knee may touch. Inhale, stretch it out. And exhale, last time, elbow to knee. Inhale, stretch it out. Long, 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 long. Take a deep, deep, deep inhale. And exhale, relax it down. Good. Go ahead and wave the hips side to side a little bit here. You can come off of your wrists for a moment if you need to. You can find a little bit of movement in the wrists if that feels good. And then move on back to your tabletop. And we're going to do the opposite side. So left leg stretches behind you. Connect to that core. That'll help with the balance. And then when you're ready, right hand reaches forward. Make sure your hips are even. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, elbow and knee come to center. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, bring it to center. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, bring it to center. And breathe it in. Big inhale and exhale. Drop it down. Turn those toes under, and we're going to slowly move into our downward facing dog. So spreading the fingertips out wide. And we're going to clasp the mat with or grip the mat with the fingertips. And then lift the hips up. Walk your dog if that feels good. So bending the knees generously, getting a little stretch into the calves and into the hamstrings. Making sure, being positive that your arms feel strong. The elbows are not bent. The elbow pits are moving forward. And the weight in your hand should, most of the weight should be into the fingers. Maybe into the finger joints. Or into the pads, the finger pads. And then taking a little bit of that weight off the wrist. So go ahead and pause the feet if you're walking your dog. Lift a little higher through the hips, and if that means your heels come up off the ground, then that's awesome. You're going to bend the left knee just a little bit, drop a little bit more into that right heel, and you're going to look underneath your right armpit. And look up at the ceiling. If you can't do this yet, that's fine. Stay strong through the arms, lifting through the hip. Good. Go ahead and relax the right leg. And then we're going to do it on the opposite side. So you're going to stretch the left leg, the heel to the floor, bending into that right knee, and then looking under your left armpit. Come back to center. We're going to walk our feet up to the front of the mat. Grab those blocks if your hamstrings feel tight or your low back is talking to you. Woo. You're going to take an inhale and draw your right hand to the sky. Find a little twist. Left hand is going to be planted on the floor or a block. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, fingertips are going to move behind you and down as we exhale. Big circle. Inhale, draw it up and take as much space as you need. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And on this next exhale, go ahead and bring it all the way down. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Let it rest for a moment. And take a deep inhale on your next breath. And as you exhale, you're going to drop the fingertips behind you. And then inhale up. Exhale back and down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, fingertips to the sky one last time. And as you exhale, we're going to float those fingers down to your block or the floor. You're going to find your forward fold again. Really connect into the feet. Maybe rock into the heels a tad bit and then rock into the toes. Not enough that you throw yourself off balance, of course, but just enough that you feel the weight get a little bit heavier in each section of the foot. Bending through the knees generously, we're going to roll ourselves up, activating through the legs. Big breath, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, float the hands down. Forward fold. Again, big inhale up. Fingertips to the sky. Exhale, bring those hands down to your blocks or to the floor. And you're going to bring your right foot back, 45-degree angle. And we want to make sure that we've got space between our heels from left to right. And I've got about probably 4 to 6 inches between my heels here. And we want to do that because if we're aligned perfectly, especially if you were a beginner in yoga, your balance will not feel very safe, and we definitely want to feel safe in our balance. So bending into that front knee, keeping it above the ankle, or I'm sorry, keeping it above, keeping the knee above the ankle, a little extra pressure in your heel, and then press into the outer part of the back foot, and then connect with the big toe. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw ourselves up into our warrior one. Now, if this doesn't feel good to you, you can always come down to the knee. Always an option. So remember that if this feels too difficult for you today. Relaxing the shoulder blades down. Let's take an inhale. Open those elbows back. Big opening in the heart space, and then exhale, bring the forearms and elbows towards one another. They don't have to touch. Gently rounding through the spine. Inhale, open up the elbows. Exhale, forearms and elbows move towards one another. Last time, big open space. And then exhale, elbows down. Let's open up the arms, and we're going to float into our warrior two. So front toe is pointed just like it was. Our back foot's going to come parallel, and just as kind of a general rule of thumb, the front heel is going to line up with either the back heel of the back foot or the arch of the back foot. We're going to relax through the shoulders. We've got our head over our heart over our pelvis. We've got our front knee bent, so it is aiming towards second and third toe. And we're going to look over our fingertips here for just a moment. And I would like you to just breathe. Warrior two is such a strong shape. So you should feel in the front foot, the weight is a little heavier in the heel. If you feel it in your toe, you're going to want to back your knee up a little bit. In the back leg, you might feel a gentle stretch on the inner part of the thigh. You want to touch that outer edge to the floor and the big toe, activating through that leg. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, left hand to the sky, right hand moves down. Find peaceful warrior, big stretch through the side body. And then we're going to exhale into side angle, reaching the right hand to the sky. And if you want, you can stretch it out really, really far. And then inhale, activate through the belly, pressing through the sole of the front foot back into our peaceful warrior. And then exhaling down. You can come resting the forearm, or you can drop the hand down to a block or the floor. And then inhale, draw it up, peaceful warrior, nice and slow, enjoying the movement. And then choose either of the two that we've already done for our side angle bend, stretch it out long, and pause here. And I'd like you to notice your chest and make sure that you're not tucking and rolling it down, but our right shoulder is kind of rolling back just a little bit, finding this awesome open space. But your arm isn't dropping back. Your arm is straight up. It's just the shoulder that is opening. You've got it. Take another breath here. On an inhale, engage the belly. Draw yourself up. We're going to straighten out that front leg. Relax the shoulders. And then draw the left toe. Of course, my block's in the way. Draw the left toe forward so the feet are parallel. And then we're going to go ahead and point the right toe forward. Bend into that knee. So we find our warrior two here. Remember, front heel into the, either lined up with the back heel or the arch of the foot. Relax those shoulders, head over heart, heart over pelvis. Your knee is pointed towards your second and third toe. And take your gaze to your fingertips on the right hand. We're going to hold for a few breaths. You've got this. Strong legs, building a little bit of resilience here. Just breathe. Find the breath. On your next inhale, breathe the right arm up, left hand reaches back. And exhale, side angle bend, forearm rests on the thigh, left hand reaches up. Inhale, peaceful warrior, right hand to the sky. Exhale, side angle bend. This time, hand can come all the way to the floor if you choose. You don't have to. Engage the belly. Draw yourself up. Big inhale, peaceful warrior. And last time, choose one of the two side angle bends. Stretch it out. Woo. Hold here for a moment. And again, we rotate the shoulder back, opening gently through the chest. But we keep our arm like straight above our shoulder. We don't let our arm rock to the back of the room. One more breath here. And bring it up, straighten out that leg. There you go. Woo! Parallel the feet, perfect. Take a breath. Relax the arms. Go ahead and rotate the shoulders a little bit, make any adjustments in your clothing that you need to. And we're going to turn the heels in, point the toes out, and we're going to drop down just a little. We're going to come into a little bit of a squat here. And we want to make sure our knees are not like this. We don't want them over our toes. We want them somewhere above our feet. Engaging the backs of the thighs and the glutes. We're hugging in the belly. We're going to take a big inhale, drawing the hands into goddess arms, nice and strong. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, using your belly, the side abdominal muscles, we're going to take an exhale and drop our right elbow down towards our right thigh, engaging the belly, back to center on the inhale, and then exhale, drop it down. So working the obliques here. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale down. If this is too much on your legs, straighten the legs out. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, elbow down. Inhale, back to center. One more on each side. Inhale, back to center. Last time, to the left. Inhale, back to center. Stretch it out. Bring the hands above the head. Shake out the hips a little. Move the knees and then heel toe or jump back into the center of the mat. And so for our balancing pose today, we're going to start on the left side. This is what I like to call my Captain Morgan pose. So we're going to start here on the left side, and we're going to drop our weight into the left foot, bending the right knee and just letting the toe rest on the ground. Your tailbone is going to be relaxed. But we're strong through this left leg, and our hips, make sure that your right hip isn't pulling up, but we're even. Elongate through the spine, engage the belly, very important, and let the arms relax to the outside. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift the thigh up so the knee is directly out from your hip. You can flex your foot if you want, and just hold for a moment. If this feels like it's too much, drop that toe down. If you need a little extra support, or you can always grab a chair. And then when you're ready, we're just going to open up the gate just a little. And when we do open up the gate, you're not going to twist your entire body. We're only moving the leg. Good. So one more little trick to this balancing shape. If you'd like, you can come to tree, or you can kind of cross the front ankle over your left leg, whichever one you'd like. Just a few more breaths here. On your next exhale, you're going to slowly lower the right leg down. Let the hands relax. Rotate through that left ankle. And then let's go ahead and come on to the right foot. So we go through those steps again. We build our foundation flat in the foot, stacking our bones here, drawing the left leg in this time, a little bend in the knee, toes to the ground. Check that our hips are straight across. We're not lifting the left hip. Lengthening through the spine, opening through the arms, relaxing the shoulders. Oh, and find that drishti that is about 3 or 4 feet in front of you. It's on the floor, and it's just a point of concentration to find. When you start to waver, that you can look at, make sure that it's not going to move, and that will help bring your center back. And then when you're ready, drawing left leg up, knee directly out from your hip. Again, if this is too much, toe to the ground. Making sure we connect with our core, so important here. And then when and if you're ready to move, you can open up the gate. And just kind of swing that left leg off to the side. Keeping yourself anchored in the right foot. And then if you choose, you can come to tree. I'm going to do tree on this side. Or you can rest that left ankle on top of your left thigh. And if you want to do tree, you can also bring your sole of your foot to your calf. And then maybe this time you find a different space for your arms. Maybe Anjali Mudra, maybe you draw them up. Three, 2, and 1. Float it down. Go ahead and rotate through that right ankle. And if that balancing practice was a little difficult for you, especially as a beginner, please don't sweat it. I always tell my students almost every practice that it is always, always, always different every day, every hour, every minute. Your balancing is not always going to be the same. So experience the movement and the sway as something fun and playful rather than something that will cause irritation to you. Be kind to yourself, and it's fun to learn these balancing practices. Please come to the front of your mat. Relax the shoulders back. We're going to take a big inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hands to the sides. Let's do that again. Full breath, big, deep inhale, pulling the energy up from the soles of the feet. And this time, palms together, exhale down through the midline, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, hands to the floor, one knee down and then the other. And we're going to go ahead and flip on to our bottoms. And we're going to find just a little bit of core work today. So we're going to move into our boat pose. A couple of different ways you can do boat. So we kind of want to settle down on top of our sits bones, and it is not always the easiest to, it's not always easy to do that. So if you rock off of them, please do not worry about that. But that's just the general area where we want to be. We want to lengthen through the spine, and when you do that, zip up through the midline. So if you want to just stay here, by all means, please do. You can also lift up and maybe just drop the toes to the floor, lifting the heels. You can draw the toes out so the shins are parallel to the floor. Remember to make that connection with the belly. And you can stay here holding on to the outer part of the, or the under part of the knees. You can relax the hands out. So hold here. We're just holding and breathing for 10, for 9, for 8, 7, 6. If you need to take a rest, go ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax the legs. Draw yourself up to your thighs. Wrap the hands around, kind of clasp the hands, and relax the forehead towards the knees and let your shoulders relax back. Release any tension that you might be feeling in the legs, through the hips. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly lift up and draw your back all the way down, hugging in the knees for just a moment. Let's go ahead and bring the fingertips to the inner part of the calf and just allow the legs to roll open. Excuse me. Go ahead and bring the knees back to center, and you're going to relax the left leg down. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to kind of lift our lower hip and shift it to the back of the room and draw the knee over to the side. Now I'm going to stack my leg with a block today. And if your low back is a little tender today, or if you find that the leg is floating, and I'm talking about maybe the toe just touches, if you're just floating here, you're pulling on your low back, please rest it on top of a block or a blanket. And we're not going to be here long, but if you can open up through the chest, and we're just going to take 3 deep, slow breaths here. When you're ready, you're going to bring the right leg back to center, connect to the core. Set your hips back down in the middle. Give those knees a hug for just a second. We're kind of resetting the low back. Find a gentle rock from side to side. Release the right leg this time, and then when you're ready, take a deep inhale and exhale. Shift the lower hip over to the left side of the mat and bring your left knee down. And this side might feel a little tighter, or it may feel a little looser. Everybody's different, so use a prop if you need to. And then again, we're not going to be here super long, but I would love for you to be able to take 3 deep, slow breaths. And then as you move into that 4th inhale, engage the belly and slowly roll back on to the center of the mat. Hug your knees in one last time. If you'd like, let's take a happy baby for a few moments. And then slowly lower the feet to the floor. If your knees are a little tight or the back is a little tight, put a blanket under your knees or a bolster. You can also put a blanket underneath your head if you'd like. And then you're just going to fully relax. Shoulders to the floor. Eyes are closed if that feels comfortable. Hands can rest at your sides or on your belly. One hand to heart, one hand to belly, whatever resonates with you as we begin our Shavasana. With each exhale, let it soften the body. Let the muscles start to relax away from the bones. And imagine that you are getting heavier and heavier as you are supported by the earth. If you would like to stay resting right where you are, please feel free to do so. And if you would like to begin a little movement, start with the fingers and the toes. And perhaps you rock the head gently from side to side. And then rolling to one side, maybe taking a breath or two, and then slowly making your way into a seated position. Bringing the hands to the heart space. Gently dropping the chin towards the fingertips. Honoring yourself for today's practice and finding gratitude for the opportunity to move and find breath and take this time together. Thank you so much. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.